You're watching Forsaken Joe. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy the story. Let's begin. The Grand Hall at the museum is everything I expected. Polished, sleek, and suffocating in its opulence. People in expensive clothes swirl around, all sipping champagne and pretending to admire abstract art, the kind that makes you feel like you're supposed to understand something deep. I watch Melanie glide through the crowd, the centerpiece of the evening, her smile effortlessly captivating. Victor, her boss, greets us warmly. Or, rather, he greets her, his eyes lighting up the moment she walks in, like she's the only person in the room worth acknowledging. He gives me a cursory nod before turning his full attention to her. It's clear he doesn't care who I am as long as I'm standing next to her. She's the show, and I'm just part of the background scenery. They exchange pleasantries, their voices fading as they're whisked away by other key people, like I'm nothing more than an accessory, something to be dragged around for her career's convenience. I end up standing near the bar, where I awkwardly order a whiskey. The bartender looks at me like I've asked for water in a wine glass, offering me some rare craft cocktail instead, as if I need to prove something. I'm out of place here, and I know it. But I can't escape the nagging thought that Melanie, in her perfect dress and glowing smile, has never looked less interested in me. I watch her, laughing with a man I don't recognize. Tall, fit, young, and dressed in a perfectly tailored suit, the kind that probably costs more than my monthly rent. She touches his arm, leaning in closer than necessary as she talks to him, her eyes sparkling in a way they haven't for me in months. I shift my weight from one foot to the other, trying to look like I belong here. I take a sip of my drink, trying to ignore the growing discomfort in my chest. I tell myself, it's nothing, just the usual insecurity that comes with being the shadow in her spotlight. But it's not nothing, not this time. Something in my gut churns, and I can't shake the feeling that I'm invisible to her. I decide to join the conversation, even though I know I'll just be an interruption. I make my way over to them, forcing a smile. But before I can get a word in, the man glances at me, then back at Melanie, his attention returning to her with barely a flicker of politeness. She doesn't miss a beat. She laughs again, her body language closing off to me, as if I've just faded into the wallpaper. I stand there for a moment, my smile faltering, feeling more alone than I ever have in a crowd full of people. They talk, and I'm reduced to being the polite ghost standing at the edge of their conversation. Then, just like that, they slip away from me, Melanie's hand resting on his arm as they drift into the crowd. The hurt feels sharp in my chest, a sudden realization that I'm no longer a part of her world. She's in it, and I'm just on the outside, looking in. I watch them for a moment, trying to ignore the sting. Then I take another sip of my drink, wishing I could drown the feeling of being nothing more than an accessory in her life. I'm not sure how long I stood there, looking at the envelope, feeling the weight of everything I've learned. But when Melanie walks in, I can see the smile falter. She knows something's wrong, but doesn't know exactly what. "Hey," she says, too bright, too fake. "How was your night?" I don't answer. I don't even try to make it sound casual. Instead, I walk toward the counter, grab the envelope, and drop it in front of her. "This is what we need to talk about." She freezes. Her smile doesn't vanish immediately, but I can see it start to crack around the edges. She looks at the envelope, then at me, and I watch her mask slip just enough to know she's caught. "What's this?" I cross my arms, steady my breath. It's the beginning of the end. Her eyes dart between me and the papers, and I can see the panic starting to rise behind her usual cool facade. What is this? Divorce papers?" I nod once. "Yes, divorce papers." "You've been planning your escape, Melanie. The only thing left to do is make it official." Her face shifts into something between disbelief and frustration. She glances at the papers again, then back at me. "You're overreacting," she says, the tone of someone trying to control the narrative, trying to convince me that none of this matters. "You don't understand. It's not what you think." I take a step closer to her. "Then tell me what I think. Tell me how this is just a misunderstanding. Tell me that the hotels, the trips, the move to San Diego, everything, doesn't mean what it clearly means. Tell me you weren't planning to build a new life without me." Her eyes dart to the envelope again. Her face loses all color. Her mouth tightens. "You don't have to do this," she says, but I can hear the desperation creeping into her voice. "Please, let's just talk about this." "I don't want to talk about it," I say flatly. "I want out. I've been living a lie for way too long, Melanie, And I'm not asking for revenge. I'm asking for peace. And I'm done with you pretending this was anything but what it was. She steps back, her chest rising and falling as she fights to control herself. I'm sorry, okay? It was a mistake. This was all just a mistake. She shakes her head, her eyes welling with something like panic. I didn't want to hurt you. Then why did you do it? Why, when you're out there laughing and flirting with him, did I stay home in the dark, believing I was your husband? My voice cracks before I catch it, and I swallow hard, trying to ignore the way my chest tightens. No, Melanie, don't apologize. Just accept it. It's over. Her face twists. We can fix this, she says, her voice quieter now. I didn't mean for it to go this far. We can talk, we can fix it. You don't want this, do you? I take a deep breath and let it out slowly, watching her. She's pleading, but it's not about love. It's about convenience. She's scared of losing what's been easy, what's been comfortable, and she'll say anything to hold on to it. I don't want to fix anything, I say, my voice firm. I want you to read those papers, sign them, and go. I'm not asking you to fight for this. I'm asking you to let it go. Let us go. She looks at the envelope again, her fingers trembling slightly. The act is up. The jig is over. She knows it. You really want this? She whispers. I do, I say quietly. I really do. She looks down at the papers, taking one last long breath before she nods, defeated. I'll sign them. I nod back, knowing there's no turning back. You'll have everything you need. I'll make sure of it. But I want you gone by the time I'm back here tomorrow night. This isn't something we're going to drag out. Her eyes flicker, a little bit of the Melanie I used to know showing through before it disappears behind the wall she's built. You're sure? She asks. I'm sure, I say, and it feels like a weight is being lifted from my shoulders. It's over. She glances at the papers once more, and then, without another word, she walks out. I slip the envelope onto the kitchen counter and sit down, waiting for Melanie. It's late, but I'm wide awake. My thoughts keep swirling around the contents of that second phone, the one that confirmed everything I'd suspected, everything I feared. The door opens, and she steps inside, her heels clicking against the tile. She looks at me, a small smile forming. Hey, babe, how's it going? She asks, dropping her purse onto the chair. I don't answer right away. Instead, I just nod toward the counter, where the envelope sits, its presence like a weight in the room. Her eyes flicker to it, and she freezes. The smile falters, and she steps closer. What's this? I don't move, don't say anything at first. I let the silence stretch between us until it becomes something more suffocating. It's over, I finally say. She stands there for a moment, staring at the envelope, as if she's trying to figure out how to respond. She takes a slow breath, her voice softer now. What do you mean, over? I rise from my seat, finally facing her. The anger I've been holding in for days simmers to the surface. I mean us, Melanie. I know everything. The trips, the hotels, the move to San Diego, the new life you're building without me. I can see the shift in her eyes, the recognition that there's no more pretending. You're not even sorry, are you? She opens her mouth, but the words don't come. Instead, her hand moves to the envelope, as if she's drawn to it, but her fingers hesitate. I didn't want to hurt you, she finally says, her voice trembling slightly. I swear it wasn't supposed to go this far. I laugh, a short, bitter sound that fills the space between us. How far did you think it would go? You've been planning this behind my back for months, and now you're standing here, acting like it was all a mistake? Her eyes lower, avoiding mine. She swallows hard. I never meant for it to happen like this. I was confused. I wasn't happy. I don't know why her words still hit me. Maybe it's the familiarity of the excuse, or maybe it's the realization that I've been so blind, so caught up in trying to hold this together, that I ignored everything she was already slipping away from me. I don't want revenge, Melanie, I say, my voice more even now. I just want out. I've been stuck in this lie with you for too long, and now I'm done. She finally looks up, her eyes wide, like she's trying to hold on to something. Please don't do this. We can fix it. I swear, I'll make it right. We can work through this. I take a deep breath, fighting the impulse to give in, to make her promises I know I'll regret. There's nothing to fix, not anymore. You made your choice. I'm just here to make sure you know I'm done. I walk over to the counter, picking up the envelope and holding it out to her. You can sign it or you can drag it out. But either way, I'm done. For a long moment, she just stands there, staring at the papers in my hand. Her face softens, the defensive wall she'd put up starting to crumble. "I'm sorry," she says, her voice barely above a whisper. But I can't hear it anymore. I don't want her apology, and I certainly don't want her tears. "I know," I reply, my voice steady. "You should have said that a long time ago." She reaches for the envelope, and I let her take it from me. She doesn't sign it right away, just holds it in her hands, staring at the words like they're some kind of final sentence. "I'll sign it," she says, her voice breaking. "But please, just don't hate me." "I don't hate you," I say, though it's not true, not really. "I just can't keep living in this lie. You don't get to keep me around when it's convenient for you. Not anymore." She nods slowly, her eyes brimming with tears as she looks down at the divorce papers. "I never wanted to hurt you. You have to believe that." "I believed it once," I reply, my voice hard. "And that's where I made my mistake." The silence that follows is heavier than any argument we've ever had. Finally, she starts to sign the papers, her hand shaking slightly. As the ink hits the paper, I can't help but feel a strange sense of relief, like something I've been carrying for years is finally being let go. When she's finished, she looks up at me. "I'll leave. I'll go wherever you want me to. But, you'll be fine. You'll figure this out. You always do." I meet her gaze, but I don't respond right away. I just watch her as she stands there, already starting to slip out of my life. And for the first time in a long time, I feel like I'm finally starting to breathe again. "You're right," I say, my voice quiet. "I will." And just like that, she's gone. I wake up the next morning to silence. No good morning, no small talk, nothing. Melanie is already gone. It's not unusual for her to leave early for work, but this time it feels different. The house is too still, and the bed is too cold, even though she's only been gone a couple of hours. I roll out of bed and make myself some coffee, trying to push down the nausea from last night. My mind replays her face when she saw the divorce papers, the way she tried to deflect, make excuses. I don't want to dwell on it, but I can't help it. The reality of everything we've built coming apart is still sinking in, slowly but surely. I stare at my phone, wondering if she'll text or call, maybe try to patch things up. But the silence stretches on. It's almost like she's already moved on, like the woman I married isn't even here anymore. At some point, I leave the kitchen, pacing around the house as if trying to fill the empty spaces with movement. I don't know what I'm waiting for, maybe some clarity, some feeling of closure. But all I feel is heavy, a weight I can't shake. By the time I'm halfway through my morning routine, I hear the front door open. Melanie. I don't even need to look up to know it's her. I feel the shift in the air, that electric tension that always existed between us when things were off. She enters the kitchen quietly, like she doesn't know what to say. She's already changed into her work clothes, her hair perfectly in place, just like last night. But there's something different about her today, something flat. She clears her throat. I got a message from Victor this morning. He wanted to know if we were still on for dinner tonight." I don't respond right away. It's clear she's trying to keep things normal, but nothing is normal anymore. I'm done pretending. "I'm not going to dinner, Melanie." She looks at me, her brows furrowing. "What do you mean?" "I mean, I'm not doing this anymore. Not for you, not for anyone." I pause. "I'm leaving." Her lips part, but no words come out. She steps closer, her eyes darting to the divorce papers on the counter. "You really mean it, don't you?" I nod slowly. I've never been more certain of anything in my life. For a moment, there's nothing but silence between us. Then she steps back, her hand going to her mouth like she's trying to hold back something. "I didn't want to hurt you," she says, the words almost lost in the space between us. "I thought I could fix it. I really did." I shake my head. "You should have thought about that before you started making plans behind my back, before you started treating me like an afterthought." Her shoulders slump, and she looks down, almost like she's trying to find the words to apologize. But the words don't come. I'm not sure they ever will. "You don't get to say sorry now, Melanie," I say, my voice steady but cold. "Not after everything, not after the way you've treated me." She looks up at me then, her eyes red, like she's holding back tears. But I don't feel bad for her anymore. I don't want to. "I'm going to make it as easy as possible for you," I continue. "You'll get what's coming to you, but I'm done. This marriage is over." She opens her mouth, but I don't let her speak. You don't need to say anything, just sign the papers, move out, and we'll be done. There's another long silence, and then, as if she knows there's no point in fighting it anymore, she says softly, "I'll leave then." "I'm not going to fight you on this," I say, finally turning away from her. "But I'm done, Melanie. Don't come back here." And for the first time in a long time, I mean it. Melanie takes the envelope from the counter with trembling hands, her eyes flicking over it as she processes what's in front of her. She doesn't immediately open it, though. Instead, she stands there, looking at me, like she's waiting for me to take it all back, like I'm still the same person she used to manipulate. "So, what now?" she asks, her voice soft, almost pleading. I don't give her an answer right away. I just watch her, feeling this deep exhaustion in my bones, the weight of everything we've gone through crushing me in a way I didn't think I could feel. The lies, the deceit. It's all too much. "I don't want to fight anymore," I say finally, my voice low but steady. "This isn't about revenge. It's about getting out. It's about letting go of this. This thing we've been pretending is a marriage." She flinches, the words landing like a punch, and for a brief second, I see something in her eyes. Guilt, maybe, or fear. But it's gone before I can really pinpoint it. She looks down at the envelope again, the silence between us thick and suffocating. "I never meant for it to be like this," she says quietly, almost as if she's speaking to herself. "I didn't mean to hurt you." I let out a bitter laugh, but it's not even something I can enjoy. "You did, though. You planned it, and you didn't care. Don't pretend this wasn't something you thought about, because I'm done with all the lies." Her voice cracks as she tries to reason with me, but the desperation in it only makes it worse. "Please. I'm sorry. You don't understand. It wasn't like that. We were just—" "Stop." I hold up my hand, cutting her off. "I don't care anymore. I'm not asking for anything from you. I just want out, and I'm not going to sit here and listen to excuses. You can sign the papers and leave, or you can drag this out, but either way, it's over." Her shoulders slump, the fight gone from her. She looks down at the papers again, her hand shaking as she reaches for the pen. The weight of this moment isn't lost on me, but I don't feel the satisfaction I thought I would. It's just an end. It's just a formality. I stand there, waiting, as she scribbles her name at the bottom of the page. The sound of the pen on the paper is the loudest thing in the room. When she's done, she pushes the papers toward me without a word. For a moment, I just look at her. I want to say something cutting, something that will make her feel what I've felt, but I can't. It wouldn't matter. She's already gone, mentally, emotionally, and now, physically. There's nothing left to fix. "I'll pack my things," she says after a beat, her voice hollow, like the words are the last bit of energy she has left. "I'll go." "Good," I say, my voice finally matching the coldness I feel inside. "Take your time." And with that, she turns and leaves. The click of the door behind her feels like it echoes forever. I don't know how long I stand there, staring at the papers, but eventually I pick them up, fold them carefully, and slide them into the manila envelope. It's done. The weight in my chest lightens, but not in a way I expected. It's not relief, not yet. But I feel something close to peace. I pick up my phone, staring at it for a long time, wondering if I should call someone, anyone, but I don't. I can't even bring myself to care. I walk into the living room, and everything seems different now. The house feels emptier, even though I'm the only one here. The wedding photos on the wall, the vacations we took, the small trinkets she collected over the years, all of it looks like a lie. I walk over to the whiskey on the counter and pour myself another glass. The first sip burns, but I need it. I sit down on the couch, glass in hand, the weight of what I've just done starting to sink in. This is the beginning of the rest of my life, and it feels like nothing at all. I think about what I'm going to do next, about the life I'm going to build, the things I'm going to change, but for now, I just sit in the quiet. It's a strange thing, this silence, not the emptiness I thought it would be, but a kind of freedom. The sound of the door opening breaks the quiet, and I glance up. It's Melanie again, but this time she doesn't speak. She's got a suitcase in hand, her eyes avoiding mine. "I'm leaving," she says softly. "Yeah," I reply, standing up slowly. "I know." She walks past me, stopping at the door, but doesn't turn around. "I'm sorry," she says again, her voice barely above a whisper. I don't answer. She doesn't deserve my words, and I don't have any left for her. I just watch as she walks out the door, the click of it closing behind her, finalizing everything. It's over, for good. And I realize, as the silence returns, that I've already started moving on. The day after I drop the papers on the counter, I can't bring myself to do anything except wait. I'm not sure what I'm expecting, maybe some big confrontation, a grand final scene, but instead, there's just silence. It's like the house is holding its breath, and so am I. I go about my day, but I can't shake the feeling that I'm in limbo. Every corner of this house feels like it's been contaminated by the weight of what I know. Around 6 p.m., I finally hear the front door open. I don't even have to look to know it's her. Her heels click softly against the floor, and I can hear her breathing a little faster than usual, like she's nervous about something. She doesn't call my name. There's no, "Hey, how was your day?" Just the quiet shuffle of her footsteps. I'm sitting in the living room, my hands wrapped around a glass of whiskey that's gone mostly untouched. I don't even look up when she enters. I got the papers, she says, her voice flat. Not the melodramatic tone I expected, not pleading, but somewhere between resigned and distant. Good, I reply, my voice even, barely above a whisper. I don't know why I'm trying to keep it so calm. Maybe I want to prove I'm not hurt by this, or maybe I just want the whole thing to be over. I didn't think you'd actually go through with it, she continues, her voice softer now, but there's no apology there, not really. I thought maybe you were just mad, but you really want this? Yes, I say, finally turning to face her. I really do. She lowers her gaze, and I watch her shoulders tense. I don't know what to say, she mutters. I never meant for it to end like this. I let out a short laugh, but it doesn't sound like a real laugh. It's bitter, edged with something I can't quite describe. You should have thought about that before you decided to replace me. Her face flushes with shame, or maybe guilt, but she doesn't argue with me. I'm not sure she can. I can see her wrestle with the urge to speak, but the words seem to die before she can form them. I should have known, I continue, my voice steady. But I kept pretending things would get better. I kept making excuses for you. For us. Melanie's hand shakes slightly as she reaches for the papers on the counter. Her movements are slow, deliberate, like she's trying to stall, but the moment is already too far gone for her to change. She takes a breath and signs them, her signature almost careless, the ink flowing easily across the paper. I'll leave tonight, she says, the finality of her words settling between us. I don't want to drag this out any longer. Good, I reply. Take what you need, the rest, I don't care. She looks up at me, and for the first time in a long while, I see something real behind her eyes. It's not regret, though. It's something far colder, acknowledgement. She knows it's over, and this time, there's no turning back. I'll pack, she says quietly, and I watch as she walks past me without another word. The door to the bedroom clicks open, then shuts softly behind her, leaving me in the same space, but feeling like I've been hollowed out. I hear her moving around upstairs, gathering her things, the sound of a suitcase being zipped shut. The house feels like a shell now, a place I used to call home but no longer recognize. I sit there for a while, letting the quiet settle in, feeling the weight of this moment begin to drag me under. I don't know what comes next. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do with all this space, with all this empty silence. When Melanie finally comes downstairs, her suitcase in hand, she pauses by the door. She looks at me one last time, as if trying to find something, some shred of the life we had. But it's gone now. The connection between us has snapped, and she knows it too. Goodbye, she says, her voice thin, almost a whisper. I nod, not trusting myself to say anything more. I watch her leave, the door shutting softly behind her. And for the first time in years, the house is completely still. It's over. And for the first time in a long time, I feel the smallest hint of relief. The morning after I left the divorce papers on the counter, I wake up in the guest room. I didn't sleep well, too many thoughts swirling around. But at least I'm not lying next to Melanie, not anymore. I try not to look at the clock, but it's hard not to. I'm waiting for her to leave, for her to be gone. She's probably already up, packing, cleaning out the few things she still has left in the house. The quiet feels strange. It's different from before, when we were just drifting, avoiding the inevitable. Now, it feels like a void. The air is thick, and I don't know how to fill it. I hear her moving around upstairs, but I don't go up. I don't know what I'd even say. Maybe I should check on her, make sure she's actually leaving. But the truth is, I don't care anymore. I've made my decision, and it's time for her to face the consequences of her actions. The doorbell rings just before noon. It's the movers. She must have called them to come pick up her things while I was still asleep. I hear them chatting outside, moving boxes into the truck. I try to ignore it, but there's something about the sound of her life getting boxed up that makes it real. After about 30 minutes, Melanie comes downstairs. She looks composed, but there's an edge to her. She's holding a small bag in one hand, and her suitcase is already by the door. I stand up from the couch, but I don't approach her. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do now. "So, this is it," she says, her voice flat. She's not asking for sympathy. She's just stating a fact. I nod. "I guess so." There's an awkward pause. I'm waiting for her to say something else, anything that might make this easier, but she doesn't. She just stands there, looking at me like she's waiting for permission to leave. "I didn't want it to end this way," she says, but it doesn't sound like an apology. It sounds like a plea. I shake my head slightly. "Maybe you should have thought about that before you started this whole thing, before you replaced me." I don't raise my voice. I don't need to. My words are calm, controlled, but the hurt behind them is unmistakable. She flinches at the words, and for a second, I think she might say something more, but she doesn't. Instead, she moves to pick up her things. "You'll get the papers, and everything else should be sorted out," she says, her tone quiet. "I don't expect you to want anything from me, and I don't want anything from you. I just need to go." I watch her walk out the door, but I don't follow. The sound of her footsteps on the front steps feels like the last chapter closing. I hear the car start, the engine revving as she drives away. And just like that, she's gone. For a second, I stand in the doorway, staring at the empty space she left behind. It's quieter now, and yet, the silence doesn't feel like peace. It feels like the end of something I can't quite name yet. I turn and walk into the kitchen. I pour myself a glass of water, trying to shake the feeling of emptiness that's gnawing at me. It's done. I keep telling myself that. I've already taken the steps to move forward, but right now, I'm just here, standing in the remnants of everything I thought my life was going to be. I sit back down on the couch, and my phone buzzes on the coffee table. It's a message from the divorce attorney. He confirms the papers are filed and that everything is moving forward. I read the message twice, and a small part of me feels a sense of finality. But there's no satisfaction in it. Not yet. I thought once I had the papers, once she was gone, I would feel better, like a weight had been lifted. But I don't. Instead, I feel like I've just taken a first step into a world that's still unfamiliar. I'm not sure what comes next. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to feel, but at least, for now, I don't have to pretend anymore. I finish my water and stare out the window, watching the world go by, wondering if I'll ever stop feeling like I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. But maybe that's just what happens after everything falls apart. You're left waiting for something new to begin. The envelope sits on the counter, mocking me in its finality. I can't keep my eyes off it, knowing everything's already been decided. This is it. Melanie will either sign those papers or drag this out. But I'm done waiting. I've spent enough time pretending we could fix something that was already broken beyond repair. When she walks in, I don't even look up. The sound of her heels on the hardwood floor is a signal that the next phase of this process is about to begin. I'm still sitting on the couch, whiskey in hand, watching the muted TV as if I'm not actively closing the door on our marriage. I feel her pause in the doorway, the weight of the moment hanging between us. I can almost hear her thinking, should I say something? Should I apologize? Should I try to fix this? I don't need any of that. "You didn't even wait for me to get home," she says, her voice trying too hard to sound unaffected, like the calm before a storm that we both know is coming. I look up slowly, meet her eyes. "There's nothing to wait for anymore. It's done." Her gaze flickers to the envelope on the counter. She doesn't reach for it immediately. It's as though she's trying to find some way to make this moment easier, something she can say or do to change the course of things, but she knows she's out of options. "I don't understand," she says quietly, though I can hear the tremor in her voice now. She's not the calm, collected woman who walked out yesterday. The cracks are starting to show. "How did we get here, Kevin?" "Don't ask me that," I reply, my voice sharper than I intend. "You knew. You knew long before I did. She winces, then shakes her head. This isn't how it was supposed to go, she says, her voice thick. I didn't mean for this to happen. You didn't mean for it to happen, I repeat, as if I'm testing the weight of her words. No, Melanie, you made a choice. You chose him. You chose to build a life with him and leave me out of it. I'm just the guy who's been in the way. She steps closer, looking down at the envelope, her fingers twitching like she's about to grab it. I don't want this. I don't want to lose you. I exhale sharply, standing up now, meeting her at the counter. I'm not angry. I'm just tired. Tired of all the lies, the pretending, the broken promises. You don't get to pull that card now. You made your bed, Melanie. You've been planning this for months. She flinches at the words, but she doesn't argue. Her eyes drop to the papers again, and for a moment, the room is heavy with the weight of everything we've lost. I'm not sure if she's crying, but her face is flushed, her breathing uneven. I just wanted to feel wanted again, she says in a quiet rush, like she's suddenly desperate for me to understand. But the words don't reach me anymore. I didn't know how to fix it with you. I'm sorry you felt that way, I say, and for the first time in weeks, I mean it. But I'm not going to sit here and act like I didn't see the signs. I let myself believe in something that wasn't real. Her eyes finally meet mine, and she's almost pleading now. Kevin, please. I was confused. You were so distant. I needed someone. And I was the one who was there for you, I respond coldly. But I guess that wasn't enough, was it? Her silence answers me. She knows. We both do. I'm done, Melanie, I say, my voice firm now. This is it. I'm not going to drag this out, and I'm not going to pretend anymore. She nods slowly, like she understands. I don't know if it's because she's finally accepting it, or if she's just tired too. But when she grabs the envelope, I don't stop her. She holds it in her hands, her fingers running over the edge of it before she finally opens it. She reads through the papers slowly, her lips moving as she takes in the words. When she finishes, she places the papers back on the counter and looks at me. You really want this? She asks, her voice barely above a whisper. I do, I say without hesitation. You've already made your choice. Now, I'm making mine. She doesn't argue anymore. She doesn't beg. She just sighs, her shoulders sagging as if the weight of this final act has finally caught up with her. I'll sign them. She says it like a whisper to herself, but I hear it clearly. The end is here, for both of us. The divorce papers were signed, the house was sold. The moment Melanie left, it felt like a weight had been lifted, but also like I was walking into unknown territory. The first few days after she was gone were quiet, almost too quiet. I filled the empty space with small tasks, making calls, changing my address, trying to figure out what I was supposed to do now that I didn't have to play the role of husband anymore. I sold the house, moved into a downtown apartment I'd always wanted, one that wasn't tied to the past. The walls weren't filled with memories of vacations, family photos, or her things. It was just mine, clean, empty, a fresh start. The first few nights here felt strange. I kept expecting her to come back, to walk through the door like nothing had changed, but she never did. Work was a welcome distraction. After the divorce, I made the decision to leave my old firm. I needed a change, something smaller, where my experience actually mattered. The new firm, though quieter and more laid back, gave me a sense of value I hadn't felt in years. My skills were appreciated, my decisions were respected, and the environment felt honest in a way I hadn't realized I was missing. As the days passed, I started dating again, but cautiously. Not because I was afraid of getting hurt, but because I knew I wasn't ready to jump into something serious. Every time I met someone new, I had to remind myself that I wasn't the person I was before. I couldn't let the past repeat itself. But then, about 2 months after the divorce was finalized, I bumped into Kelly at a cafe near my new place. Kelly was a colleague of Melanie's, one of the few who knew what had been going on, though I hadn't spoken to her much before the split. I was sitting by the window, nursing a coffee, when I saw her walk in. She paused, scanning the room before her eyes landed on me. I almost didn't recognize her at first. She'd always been friendly with Melanie, but now her face was more serious, like she had something important to say. Hey, she said, sliding into the chair across from me, uninvited but not unwelcome. You look good, different, I shrugged. Just getting used to the new place, new life. I heard about the move, the apartment, the whole thing. She paused. I just wanted to say, I'm sorry for how things went down with Melanie. She wasn't exactly the best at handling things. Yeah, she wasn't, I replied, my voice steady but still raw from everything that had happened. But it's done now. Kelly hesitated, like she wanted to say more but wasn't sure how. I'm not just talking about the divorce. I'm talking about everything. She had a plan, with him. I don't think you ever saw it coming. I glanced at her, wondering if she was trying to make herself feel better by apologizing for Melanie's behavior. But something in her voice told me it wasn't just that. What are you trying to say? I asked, leaning forward. I'm saying I knew, Kelly said, her eyes not quite meeting mine. I knew what was going on. I just didn't know how to tell you. I could feel my stomach tighten, but I kept my voice even. Tell me what, Kelly? She sighed, running a hand through her hair. It was never just an affair. Melanie and Victor, they were planning to move to San Diego together. They've been talking about it for months. She didn't just want him, she wanted a life with him, a fresh start. You weren't part of that plan. I felt my heart sink into my stomach. It wasn't new information. It was the confirmation of what I'd already known. But hearing it from someone else, someone who had watched it unfold, made it all real. Too real. I'm sorry, she said again, her voice barely audible now. I should have told you sooner, but I didn't know how. It wasn't my place. I stared at her, taking in her words, feeling the weight of them settle over me like a heavy fog. No, I said finally, shaking my head. It was never your place, but I appreciate you saying it now. I really do. Kelly's face softened, but she didn't press. I just wanted you to know I'm sorry for everything. Thanks, I said, not sure what else to add. She was sorry, but it didn't change anything. She stood up, ready to leave, but before she walked away, she turned back to me. You'll be okay, You already are. It just takes time. I watched her go, feeling a strange sense of finality. The truth had been out there for months, but hearing it out loud felt like a heavy curtain had dropped. I didn't feel relief, though. No, not yet. But I knew it was the last thing I needed to hear. After she left, I sat there for a while, sipping my coffee. I wasn't sure where my life was heading, but I was sure of one thing. This was the first time in a long time I could truly say I was moving forward.